Hey, gorgeous goddess. So today I am coming to you with a request and a little bit of background on something that I'm not only passionate about, but something that's very vulnerable and very near and dear to my heart. And if you can listen all the way through the video, I just thank you already up front and want you to know that it means the world to me to be in this space with you and being able to share myself and my story and what my mission is for moving forward based around all of this. So a little bit of background on me is I'm now a life coach, an energy healer, a yoga instructor, retreat leader. So I really love working with women on helping them to heal their lives and pretty much put their past behind them so that they can have a new belief system and a new way of living and a way of really just stepping into who they want to be in their life and letting everything else just, again, be the past. So pretty much the reason that I have stepped into this role in my life is because of my background as well. So when I was a really young child, 5 years old, my parents divorced, and it really was something that I didn't understand at the time, but it also was very hard for me. I didn't understand it, but I also loved my life at the time. Me and my sister had a great life, great house, school, friends, everything. And pretty much it felt like in an instant everything was just over. We didn't see our father very much. We moved into a small apartment, and then my mom began working pretty much nonstop because she was trying to take care of us on her own. So that left us with a lot of other sitters and friends, family friends. And after going through that pretty much, heartbreaking time, my sister and I would stay with family that or actually they were family friends that the brothers ended up sexually molesting us. So that happened for the next few years, on and off, regularly. And unfortunately, I didn't know how to speak up about it. So it really affected me in ways that I didn't think were possible. What I believed about myself, what I believed about the male figure, what I believed about what I was capable of, trust, not being able to trust anyone, really just going in. I turned into this really scared and shy little girl that really just needed healing, but I didn't know how. Eventually that stopped and my mom remarried. We moved a lot in that time though, and we were really struggling, so we didn't really have much. That was another issue that I dealt with, was really being shy and embarrassed. I was always embarrassed because, we lived in places that weren't that great and had a lot of issues with wearing, hand-me-downs and not having money and not having a good car. And so it was just a lot of like poverty and lack mindset that I grew up with. And then when my mom remarried, we were really excited because it felt like we were going to have what would seem like a normal life again. But it just turned me into a different person because my younger brother was born and I just felt like I was kind of left behind. And it wasn't anything that anybody did to me. It was just my own personal internalization of what was happening, that I wasn't worthy and that I wasn't good enough and that there was always something wrong with me. So all of this ended up turning into a lot of self-hatred, self-sabotage, eating disorders, drug addiction, everything that I could possibly do to really ruin my life and self-destruct, I did it. And eventually I was completely lost. Hated myself, tried suicide, just really was a hurting girl, and went into my adulthood with all of that pain, and finally came to a place where I started to accept where I was and knew that I needed to be here for a bigger reason and that it was time to heal. And at the time I found yoga, and that has been since then my foundation, and since then I have went from becoming this wounded little girl to what I now call myself as a bliss goddess, really finding my feminine power, living my life, being in alignment, loving myself unconditionally, healing my soul, having that spiritual connection that I was lacking before, and really embodying my inner goddess. So I just really wanted to share with you a little bit about this movement that I'm creating around the wounded feminine. So obviously it's really important to me now to have a different life where I really fully embrace who I am, accept and love her. And I not only want that for myself, but I really feel like there's so much suffering and struggling in the world and through a lot of this wounded feminine, which shows up in so many ways, that it's time that we really come up and speak out about it and share our stories together and create this real true sisterhood, knowing that we are enough, we're more than enough, that we are capable of anything, that we are so worthy, and that we just really truly deserve to live in love with ourselves, in love with our life, and experiencing bliss every single day. So how the wounded feminine shows up for a lot of others is through also, family issues when they grow up. Domestic violence or abuse shows up in body shaming, whether it's being too small or too big, having others shame you and you shaming yourself, having, again, eating disorders or issues around food and exercise, and again, just not feeling like it's good enough or you're good enough. It also shows up in the sexual world with slut shaming, and it's really sad that a girl can't step into who she is in that world of sensuality without being shamed by the societal ideas of what she should be. It also shows up a lot in bullying. So whether it's being the bully because you're hurting inside, or being, on the other side of having others bully you for whatever reasons because you don't fit in. That's another way it shows up, is feeling like you really don't fit in because you are different and unique and special, but other people might not get you. So the wounded feminine is really this like a big circle that encompasses a lot of different areas of life that we have within us that come from internalization, again, of wounds that are either from childhood or from as we're growing up, that we maybe just don't know how to heal, and maybe feel like we're not even worthy of healing them. So my mission is to gather women together to share stories of how you have healed from the wounded feminine and are now making an impact in others' lives, women and girls, because what I feel is necessary for moving forward in life is that we become this ripple effect of healing, be healed, and then heal. So it's the idea around working on ourselves first so that we can find that pure unconditional love and live that life of bliss, embracing who we are as that goddess, and then going out into the world to share all of that beautiful joy instead of pain. And so not living in that pain body, but instead living from that place of love and of sharing that love, that everybody is worthy and everybody is worth loving and everybody deserves the best life that they possibly want to live, in that version of themselves that they just desire. So I would love for you to share your story on, again, how you have healed from the wounded feminine or are still healing. It's always a process. It's a journey. It never really stops. We just keep pushing through and discovering more and healing more, and then layers are unpeeled and then we heal those layers. So it's a really beautiful process, but just know that I am here for you to help you through the process, and I really do want to hear stories. I'm interviewing 100 women with their story of how they have healed or are healing and how they're impacting the world based on this idea of knowing that we don't need to suffer anymore, we don't need to struggle, we really do deserve bliss. And what it looks like when you have that transition, that transformation from, the pain and the wounds to that bliss is you have confidence, you're not self-conscious anymore, you feel like you don't have to fit in, and it feels so empowering to know that you're okay as you are and that you're more than enough. You live every day with gratitude, really, with like who you are, with who's around you. You create what you want in your life, whether it's through your business or through your work that you do or through volunteering or through even just being a mom. And a lot of times wounded feminine shows up in motherhood, either losing children or maybe not being ready for having children and then moving into that portion of life that's really trying. So whatever it is that you have went through, I want to hear your story, and I want to help you to become that bliss goddess. So moving from the pain, from the wounds, from the suffering, into that being in alignment, loving yourself, having that goddess within come out in her power, having that connection with your spirit and with your sisterhood. There's a huge thing to be said for sisterhood, and also healing on that soul and cellular level. So if you want to follow the link, I would love to hear from you. And I really truly believe that we can be this ripple that moves into the world. I have an organization that I'm starting to really help women and girls to step up and rise up instead of staying pushed down through being part of the wounded feminine, but to really heal ourselves, heal each other, and in turn heal the planet from all of the struggles and suffering that are happening so that we can create a world of peace and bliss. Thank you so much for listening, for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Namaste.